he's obviously a maverick, Dominic Cummings. He created chaos when he was in number 10 working for Boris Johnson, and ultimately, as I guess was always going to happen, it ended very badly. So the idea that he could somehow come in to work, albeit maybe in the background, for Rishi Sunak, and it would all go well, I think was probably pretty far-fetched.
Being called a career psychopath by David Cameron, and is also credited with inventing the term "Take Back Control," the slogan that helped to deliver Brexit. But if you thought Dominic Cummings was firmly out in the political cold, then maybe you should think again, because tomorrow's Sunday Times reveals that in July this year, Boris Johnson's former advisor had a secret dinner with Rishi Sunak. They also met in December last year, with Cummings advising the new PM to hold an emergency budget, reverse Johnson's tax rises, and to almost double the threshold at which people pay the 40p rate of income tax from £50,200 to £100,000. Very interesting. Let's talk to Kevin Schofield, political editor of HuffPost. Kevin, I see you've tweeted that Nadine Dorries, the former Secretary of State for Culture, is going to lose her mind over this story. Care to explain why?
Yeah, well, she's written this book called The Plot, which is ostensibly about what she sees as the plot to bring down Boris Johnson and these nefarious, shadowy figures in the background operating the Conservative Party, who have gone from wanting to get rid of Boris Johnson, installing Rishi Sunak in his place, and then getting rid of Rishi Sunak. I think her latest theory is that they want him replaced with Kemi Badenoch, and Dominic Cummings is involved in there somewhere as well, that he helped to bring down, obviously, Boris Johnson in order to install Rishi Sunak. So once she reads that actually there's been this secret dinner, a secret meeting between Rishi Sunak and Dominic Cummings, then I'm sure she'll have a light bulb moment and think that this proves that her whole idea of a nefarious plot is actually true. So I'm waiting with bated breath for her next tweet.
Oh, I'm sure issue. More on the deep state. but Kevin, given Dominic Cummings' previous indiscretions, think about what he said about Boris Johnson, the trolley, and his cabinet, and the manner of his departure from government. Some people will think it crazy that he had these two, quote, secret meetings with him. And what do you make of it?
Yeah, it is incredibly surprising. I mean, there was always the suspicion in Westminster that that Dominic Cummings did want Boris Johnson replaced with Rishi Sunak, although both sides have completely denied that. But this obviously adds weight to that theory. But if you just look at it objectively, and how Mr. Cummings' reputation has been completely trashed since he left, not just while he was in office with Barnard Castle and all of that stuff, but since he left office, he's gone a bit crazy with 50,000 word blogs criticising Boris Johnson, etc., etc., not then giving evidence in front of a parliamentary committee about Partygate, which didn't exactly, I would suggest, cover himself in glory. And obviously, just recently, he gave evidence to the inquiry when all the foul-mouthed text messages and what have you emerged. So I don't think it's a great look for Rishi Sunak to be almost going to Mr. Cummings cap in hand, according to the article, saying, please help me win the election, but we've got to keep it all secret and keep you in the background. And now it appears that Rishi Sunak didn't follow the advice that he was given by Dominic Cummings, and now Dominic Cummings is once again exacting his revenge on a Prime Minister by telling his story to Tim Shipman at the Sunday Times.
That's right. I mean, you get the impression that Rishi Sunak bottled it. I mean, Dominic Cummings' plan was too risky, prioritising critical things, as the piece tells us, like nuclear weapons infrastructure, natural and engineered pandemics, the scandal of MOD procurement, AI, etc., and the broken core government institutions. How risky was this prospectus, do you think?
I think it was, because, I mean, he's obviously a maverick, Dominic Cummings. He created chaos when he was in number 10 working for Boris Johnson, and ultimately, as I guess was always going to happen, it ended very badly. So the idea that he could somehow come in to work, albeit maybe in the background, for Rishi Sunak, and it would all go well, I think was probably pretty far-fetched. But I think it also indicates just how concerned Rishi Sunak is and was at that time as well, that all his efforts to try and turn around the opinion polls, the launch of the 5 pledges at the beginning of the year, various other initiative just didn't seem to shift the dial. So he was obviously thrashing around looking for solutions, and clearly bringing in Mr. Cummings would be the nuclear option, probably.
Nuclear option, and not a very good look. You can read all about it in the Sunday Times, a piece by Tim Shipman. Kevin Schofield, political editor of HuffPost, thank you very much. It's been great talking
Thanks,
to you
Henry.
this year, and talk to you in 2024.